Hi, friends. It's Adam, the crippled cannabis cowboy. Medicinal cannabis, how I grow my own. There's a lot of logistics in it. What you have to need, what you need to get started, lights, tents, that kind of stuff. That's different. This is just what I do. Get yourself some seeds. Try to find somebody who knows how. I'm sure you can find someone. Money talks. Yeah, you could buy the expensive stuff. After you get started, you're going to want to buy the expensive stuff anyway. I'll take a little Dixie cup. I'll put a little bit of spring water in it, tiny little bit. Spring water is close to perfect as far as pH and stuff like that. Leave the seed in the water overnight. Come the next morning, maybe it sank, maybe it didn't. A little tap with your finger. Actually, most of the time, if I just touch it with my finger, it sinks. Then I take a couple of paper towels. I fold one, put it on a little plate, pour the seed out with some water, make the paper towel wet. Fold another paper towel, put it over the seed, pour some more of that water on it. Make sure the seed isn't submerged, just covered with the paper towels. But you have to keep the paper towels very moist and in a dark, warm place. After maybe a day or two or three, the seed will split and will start what we call a taproot. When I see a taproot starting in the paper towels, I'll get some seedling soil. You need seedling soil because it's mild. Fill up a solo cup about 3/4 of the way. Make sure you poke some holes in the bottom of the solo cup. Then I'll pour a shot worth of spring water in the solo cup. Mix around the top layer. Make a little hole with a pen. Put the seed down taproot first into the dirt if you can. Cover it up with a little bit of the soil around. Sometimes it just take a little sprinkle of regular soil and just sprinkle it on top. Basically just cover it, put it back in darkness. After that, I'm usually ready to go. I actually got a germination kit. It's kind of like a humidity box. There are humidity domes and stuff like that. And I got this box thing. I freaking love it. It's awesome. Put a heating pad under it. They have these heating pads that only heat up to, I think it's 80 degrees or 90 degrees. It stays pretty, it's not like a regular heating pad. It's just for seedlings. Put a little water in it, put the top on it, and it has its own light, which is a T5 fluorescent. It's like a desk lamp light. And they do love humidity and they do love heat. After a day or two in there, and it may sprout. Usually does sprout. When it sprouts, it'll develop two starter leaves and they'll open. They'll kind of like come up like this and open to the light. That's when it really needs light. And keep the light on it for 18 hours on, 6 hours off. And there's a little timer that the Germination Kit plugs into that shuts it off when I need to. Some people think or record that when it sprouts the soil, when it first pokes its head out, that is your official first day of the Veg Cycle. I don't particularly follow that. I just go by eye and feel. Well, you can if you want. You want to keep track. You're gonna want to keep track of some stuff. I like the things I could just leave them in there. They tend to stay in there about 3 weeks, a month. Some of them maybe 2 weeks. Depends on how fast they grow. I take them out right before they're about to touch the top, and then they'll go into this tent usually, and they continue their veg cycle. Veg cycle is something that plants follow if the light follows the 18 hours on, 6 hours off. Some people, I think, do 19 hours on. Some people keep the late. It depends on what you like and what you don't. I've noticed in my experience with 18 hours on and 6 hours off, that shit'll grow, man. In this veg cycle, I noticed that my cannabis plants, I can control how they grow. You can pinch them, top them is what it's called, film them. I like filming. The pot size, how big the pot size is, will let the plant know. Like, for example, if you put a plant in a big pot, it's going to grow. If you keep it controlled and small, you can kind of force them to stay small. I made a decision that I'm going 3 gallons and that's it. I used to do 5 way back in the Prohibition days. Those are separate stories. Supposedly, you can keep a cannabis plant in veg forever. As long as you keep that light cycle, it'll keep growing. Obviously, if you want to control the growth, it's recommended about an average of 3 months, give or take weeks. Then I move it to this tent behind me on this side, and that is the flower tent. It's on a different light cycle. 12 hours on and 12 hours off is the flowering life cycle for cannabis plants. In my experiences from the past, now all the friends that I have that grow cannabis, it takes a couple weeks for the flowers to really show. You'll be able to see the sex of the plant. You want to keep the females, get rid of the males, or get them away from the females. And come a week or two into flower, you're going to start to see the flowers. Come week 3, week 4, they're going to start to smell. So if you're growing indoors, you're probably going to want a carbon filter in the room or in the tent. I don't know if you can hear it, that small hum. That's actually the carbon filter in this tent. They sell them. They sell little systems. You go hook up a carbon filter and literally they just cancel the smell right out of the air. It's pretty cool. I love the thing. Now, it varies from person to person how long you want to keep a plant in flower. It has something to do with the hairs. I'm sure everyone's heard hairy bud or whatever. Well, these hairs are a real thing. You can look at them and check out the ambering, the colors on them. The crazy plant that I have now is actually showing color for the first time. Now, it's not following the rules, but because I stressed it out like crazy, I actually broke its neck, I filmed it, I did all kinds of crazy stuff to it. When you do something to a plant, that brings upon stress, which will bring upon odd behavior. So you gotta keep in mind of that. Live and learn. After that, there's harvest. I noticed from the Prohibition days when I decided to harvest that will bring more amber color to the buds. Just so you know, I don't know about potency or anything like that. This is the first time I'm actually really looking into the scientific method mixed with the bro science, just mixed with some Adam and just some having fun. Believe it or not, I could care less about smoking, eating. I just like growing it. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. Obviously, I'm gonna get rid of the boys, but I just like growing, man. It's very zen. Gives me a reason to get out of bed. Gives me a reason to live. If you want to jump on the cannabis boat, that's fine. I've been doing it for years, and actually I have friends that have been doing it for years, and I still to this day have not lost a single friend to cannabis. Alcohol and pills, I lost count. No bullshit. Look at your past. You probably ain't gonna find one person that died from marijuana. You can't OD from this stuff. Like I said, if you want to jump on a boat, cool. We got the room. Know your rules, know your laws. Look into it, figure out what you got to do. Or there's a lot of red tape, especially in Connecticut. Thanks for watching my video on my medicinal cannabis growing get started. I consider myself a white belt. I am a beginner. I actually do not know shit. I'm lucky enough to be friends with people that have been growing for, man, they're pushing on 20 years now. That's a long time and a lot of knowledge. That goes to show that ask questions. Just ask. Honestly, it's a wonderful community. We want to help people. We don't want you drinking booze every day. We don't want you popping pills every day. Try cannabis. We want to support that. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. Like the video, comment if you want to. If you want to jump on board of the Crippled Cannabis Cowboy, keep your eye out because I am going to be doing some things with that name. Keep in mind, I could be completely full of shit. I might be an alien that just looks like a human. I might be steering you in a complete wrong direction and turning you on to a gateway drug that's going to destroy your life. Okay, I'm finished. Thanks for watching. Until next time.